sponsors, Win Win Women and Cardio Miracle. Let's put praise hands in the chat. Love it, you guys. We're going to get going here because it is a beautiful Sunday morning and we are excited to kick things off. So before we get too far along though, I want to lay some ground rules for us all. I think it's always important so that we're all on the same page. So you're here. So grateful you're here. It's an incredible summit, an incredible day. I want to invite you to stay present. You are here to thrive together as the women of the world. So I invite you to honor yourself and your future by being as present as possible throughout the next 2 or 3 hours. And if you do maintain presence and you're taking notes and things like that, you could have a chance to win prizes as well. So if you are down to and you agree to being present for your time at this event, I want you to hook us up and put a 1 in the chat. Awesome, we're seeing some of those ones blowing up. I love it. Our second ground rule here is to please be kind. Feel free to ask questions and connect with one another and our speakers in the chat. Do not hesitate. You absolutely can ask questions as our speakers are presenting, but please be mindful to show up with kindness in your words and actions because we want to maintain this as a safe space for all of those who are in attendance. So if you agree to be kind, please chime along with me. Put a 2 in the chat. 2 in the chat, 2 in the chat. I love it, love it. And last, but certainly not least, we ask you to please be respectful. We know that virtual summits can be attended from anywhere. Hallelujah, right? That's what we want. We have so many women calling in from so many different places today, and we're so excited about it. We love that we can host virtual summits like this to celebrate the women of the world. But I ask that you please mute your microphones. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't go to the bathroom with your camera on, things like that, guys. And be respectful of our presenters and, of course, our other attendees. So if you are down to be respectful, as I know you are because you are incredible women here today, put a 3 in the chat. Wonderful, wonderful. I appreciate each of you sharing your numbers here and agreeing to our ground rules through the rest of the event. And with that said, it is my honor to introduce our very first speaker, Sandy Parker Martinez. Sandy Parker Martinez is a speaker, author, and guide. And wherever she is the spark encouraging others. She is the CEO of Pink Lady Posse, a virtual empowerment group for women 50 plus, providing resources, technology training, and mindset support for women to be feisty after 50. Now, even if you are not over 50, if you are one of those feisty women, you want to be feisty, let's praise hands that in the chat because you know what? I think feisty is a lot of fun and I know so many of us have that feisty streak. So let's own it. Put some praise hands in the chat as we're preparing to hear from Miss Sandy. She is formerly the fun lady on Stars 104.3, The Morning Show. She has spoken to audiences up to 5,000 people in 3 countries and for events in companies like Southwest Airlines and Southern Living. Aside from her hoopla of accolades, she proudly proclaims, I survived and thrived through liminal spaces and I can show others. That's something to shout about. I lost 200 pounds, have had both hips and knees replaced, lost a precious husband of 25 years, built a new married life with a handsome guy in a small town of Bowie, Texas. So let's give it up. Let's put some exclamations in the chat if you are excited to hear from Miss Sandy Parker Martinez teaching us all about managing life shifts you were not expecting.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for connecting with me. Taylor, thank you so much for having me be part of this summit, and I'm excited about the opportunity. So before we dive in, let's make sure you're in the right place. Put a yes in the chat if you have ever felt like you're in between chapters of your life and unsure of what's next. Put a yes in the chat if you've ever gone through a major life change, a job shift, a move, a loss, and thought, what now? Do you feel like you've outgrown an old version of yourself and haven't quite stepped into the new one yet? Have you ever been frustrated by the feeling that you're waiting for something to begin, but you're not sure what? Have you taken a bold step forward and then felt a bit unsure? If you nodded, sighed, or muttered yes to any of these, you're in the right place. And you're already at an advantage. You will be empowered by being here. I promise you that. You know, we live in a notion that life is going to go a certain way. We expect life to follow a particular path, implying a sense of predictability. But we also know life is what happens while you're making plans. If we're going to manage our life during shifts we're not expecting, then we need to understand liminal space. The word liminal comes from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold, any point or place of entering or beginning. A liminal space is the time between what was and the next. It's a place of transition, a season of waiting and not knowing. Liminal spaces are those in between moments where the past is gone and the future hasn't arrived yet. It's like when you quit a job but haven't started the new one. Or when the last kid moves out and suddenly you're staring at an empty house wondering, well, now what? We live in a culture that is obsessed with answers. We want certainty, control, and a plan. But the truth is, sitting in uncertainty is uncomfortable. And let's be real, we're conditioned to avoid discomfort, especially women. We're taught to smooth things over, fix things, and keep the wheels turning. Well, that is not the in between. The in between, this space can feel confusing, uncomfortable, disorienting. But here's the kicker, this is also where transformation happens. Today, I'm going to help you make sense of these in between spaces. I'm going to give you some tools. And most importantly, I'm going to help you see you are not crazy. You're not broken. And you're definitely not alone. It's a toolbox for the in between. And you'll want to have it on hand before you need it. Kind of like life insurance for the soul. And 100% of us will need it or can share it with someone else who does. The image that resonates with me is the trapeze artist. There they are, swinging, swinging securely on one set of the bars. And then the time comes and they let go. And they are flying through air. Liminal space asks us to do something radical, to let go before we know what's coming next. Then suddenly, just like Dorothy, who steps out of her black and white world into full Technicolor, we are not in Kansas anymore. Hey, put in the chat if you or anyone you know has experienced this. You can just put a yes, or you can put a yes, yes, yes. Empty nest, career change, loss of a job, new job, divorce, widowhood, surgery, a move, a diagnosis, a change of identity. In a way, it sounds like every movie we've seen. They start out on a journey and they get in an in between place. It's pretty different here. Mysterious, confusing, scary, and anxiety provoking. There may be deep forests, magical people, mystical creatures, and forces of good and evil. It's not always bad things. Liminal space can be any or all of these. Things you want, things you don't want. and things you never knew you wanted. Remember this? COVID. That was one big, fat, global liminal space. We were all in it together. We left normal in one day and change after change after change. Well, I'd like to tell you that COVID was my first experience of liminal space, but it was not. It was the year before, in February 2019. After 5 years of getting ready for a kidney transplant, my husband of 25 years passed away without getting one. My sweetheart, my running buddy, my entertainment, and the best papa you ever knew. He fought so hard to stay alive and just could not. My world as I knew it ended. To be honest, after the funeral, I hardly got out of bed for a whole year. And just when I started to put one foot in front of the other, in March 2020, COVID, another beginning. This image helps me. When it feels like life is one big puzzle that has been thrown up in the air and landed in a pile, start doing what you know to do with puzzles. Find a piece and give it a place to be. And another. Find your corner pieces. When Rodney died, I attended grief recovery. And when it ended, the women in my group decided to stay together. They were and are one of my life's corner pieces. Every Monday at 9 a.m., we have met on Zoom. We have been meeting for 5 years. They are my lifeline, even to this day. At some point, a new picture starts to take shape. In 2019, I would have never thought it possible to love again, find an amazing man, and be married in yet another beginning. So, why does this matter to all of us? I manage a virtual community called Pink Lady Posse for women who want to live feisty after 50. As I serve these women, what I've come to know is that a great life includes being prepared for times of transition and the messy middle spaces. You saw it in the chat. All of us have had this experience. And if we haven't, we're going to. And if we don't, the people around us are. In fact, the average woman between the age of 40 and 70 will experience 5 to 7 major transitions. And yet, many of us have never even heard the phrase liminal spaces. When we're in liminal space, if we don't know we're in one, we are at an extreme disadvantage. Liminal space is not to be navigated alone. The impact of loneliness and isolation has the same impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So, what do? We white knuckle it. We distract ourselves. We keep busy. We shove down the uncertainty, thinking if I just get through this, I'll be fine. But ignoring liminal space doesn't make it go away. It just means we're wandering through it without a flashlight. So let's turn on a flashlight. Each of you will get your own copy of the toolbox for the in between. I've already told you about two of the tools. One, Small, consistent actions. Tiny habits create stability. Make the bed, take a walk, eat something other than Doritos. No matter what, one step at a time is a step forward. Another tool we looked at was a trusted support system. Find your people, not the ones who will tell you to just stay busy, but the ones who will sit with you in the unknown. Three other tools that are explained more in your toolbox are core values as your compass, using your resilience and strengths, vision, even if it's small. In addition to your toolbox, I'm going to give each of you another surprise gift. So I want you to watch for it in your email. It'll come from my personal email, sparkercan@gmail.com. So take a screenshot of this so you have it handy. Before we conclude, I want to summarize what's here for you. First of all, friendship. I really do want to stay in touch with you. Then there's the toolbox. I made it just for you and I want you to download it. It's kind of like a flat tire. Better to know how to do it before the tire is flat. Three, the next step is a 45-minute class called Intro to the In-Between. We go much further into the details of tools available and how to cope with different areas of life. If you know someone who's in a liminal space that could use the support or encouragement, I recommend you gift it to them. It would be really meaningful for their lives. And then I'm a speaker. So if you have a company or you have a group that you'd like me to speak to, or you have a group of friends and you want them to hear about liminal space, I'd love to share that. And last but not least, I'm going to put on my hat. So what that just right. I'm going to invite you to join the Pink Lady Posse. If you want to be feisty after 50, 60, 70, 80, well, we're a virtual empowerment group of women that support each other. We'd love to have you join us. So, in conclusion, I want to highlight the main points, and here we go. Liminal space can be life's boot camp, exhausting, but by the end, you're stronger and weirdly proud of yourself. The messy middle is where you do the work. Letting go isn't about erasing the past. It's about making space for what's next. It's where transformation happens. So remember, you are not stuck. You are not lost. You are becoming. And that's a pretty powerful place to be. Let's stay in touch and celebrate the butterflies we are becoming. And let me know what you think of the toolbox. I can't wait to hear from you.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Oh, I love it. I love it. What I want you to do, if you want to celebrate Sandy and thank her for such an incredible session, let's put some of those clap hands emojis are in the chat. I love it. You guys are already on it. Put the clap hand emoji in the chat to thank Sandy for such an incredible session. And if you joined us yesterday, you know what's happening next. What I want you to do is to type in the chat your biggest gold nugget, your biggest takeaway from Sandy's session. And Sandy, while they're blowing up the chat with their gold nuggets and takeaways, I would love it if you could come on live with me now and share what they have the chance to win. One lucky person sharing their gold nuggets and takeaways. Yes, ma'am. Beautiful. Oh, and such an amazing compliment to what was already an incredible session. So we have some gold nuggets blowing up in the chat. Ellen says her gold nugget was put the puzzle and pieces in first. Holly says you can't make it through the liminal space alone. You have to find your corner pieces to help you. Gina says find your corner pieces. Lee says liminal equals threshold, in between. Jane says resilience. Bonnie, gold nuggets, surround yourself with good people. Julianne, liminal spaces are places of transition where we do the work. Life's boot camp where you transform. You aren't broken, you're becoming. We have Christy. Gold nugget is I am becoming. What am I becoming? Heck, I don't know yet, but it's comforting to know I'm transitioning into something bigger. LaDonna says beginnings are beautiful. Lori says I love the great info, especially new chapters 5 between 40 and 70. All right, we've got some great gold nuggets and takeaways. Sandy, who is the lucky winner to have that 2-session journey with you? Julianne! Yes, everybody, let's congrats to Julianne in the chat. Let's blow it up because guess what? We are all about that abundance. And if you didn't win this time, that's okay because we have more incredible speakers who are also doing giveaways. So congratulations to Julianne. And Julianne and Sandy, I want to invite the two of you to connect privately in the chat so you can set up those 2 sessions together. Now, again, let's put some exclamation points in the chat to thank Sandy for sharing her time, her talent, her experience with us this morning. Thank you so much, Sandy. And now it is my honor to introduce our next speaker who's bringing us along with Hidden Pieces, how professional women can embrace their whole selves and lead with authenticity. Our next speaker is Miss April Young. She's a dynamic speaker, accomplished musician, and the founder of Stage Savvy Speakers. With over 30 years of performance and teaching experience, April empowers women to embrace their personal stories and experiences so they can lead with confidence and leave an impact. As a former Marine Corps musician who enlisted at the ripe old age of 29, she has shattered societal expectations